Okay, okay. All right. Hopefully this one has one. All right. Let's see. Checking my end. Okay. Maybe, let me see. Okay, let's see. Can I? Hello? Can I? There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this microphone is not that new. I've been using it for a while, but it's been weird. YouTube's been weird with me ever since I got monetized. And I'm like, what? Like these weird features pop up now. Anyway, yeah. Thank you everyone for watching my videos. That's how I got monetized. Especially if you guys are new to creating content, I would recommend that you do short videos, so those video shorts or whatever, because you get much more playbacks on those. I think that's how I got monetized, because what I was uploading from TikTok when I was doing like the short videos, those got like over 3,000 views and more like that. So if you guys are trying to create content and trying to get subscribers and watch videos, watch like higher and stuff like that, do those. Okay, the little short ones, because you know humans don't have a longer attention span than like 3 seconds or a minute. And so it's true though, like here on YouTube in particular, if you don't get to the point as soon as the video starts playing, somebody won't watch it throughout the entirety of the video. So that's what I recommend, those shorts. All right. Thank you, Mara. Yeah. So I had a vacation time with my mom. She came to visit, and me and my daughter went off with her. She just left today. And we had a good time, and we had a lot of bonding time. So I was really happy about that. I know I had a lot of people reach out to me during this week, and I know I didn't respond because I was literally not on my phone. Okay. Like I was like, nope, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not talking to anybody. like nothing, no correspondences, please. This is family time. And so I didn't respond back. Sorry about that if that was you. But I needed this time. Okay. I would have turned off my phone if I could, but I needed it for map so we could know where the hell we were going. Anyway, so thank you. So yeah, my birthday was on the 30th, which was the last day of November. Hers was on the 26th. So the day after Thanksgiving was my mom's birthday. We're both, like when we look at our chart, we're both Sagittarius suns and Pisces moons. She doesn't know her time of birth, but she knows she was born at night as well. So that would have made her a Virgo rising like me. So we have a very similar chart. The only differences is the degrees and generation, of course, the generational alignments with the planets. Yeah, so those are the only differences I would say. But we did not get along when I was little, like not at all. She was very this is the only way, like this is my way or the highway type of personality, and I was not like that. So anyway, we get along now. So yeah, we went off to the East Coast and we explored Niagara Falls and we explored the East Coast, and then we came back. We explored Wisconsin. We had some fun with my sister because she lives out here too. And yeah, so we had fun. So anyway, let's talk about the energies for today, the galactic energies coming in for December. We are in, I know a lot of people's like Sagittarius season, but let's look at the galaxy. What season are we in right now? We are in Orion season. So starting December 8th, Orion season begins once more. There is great influence of Orion throughout the year, but this is the greatest one, I would say, the greatest influence right now, this December 9th to the 19th, or sorry, December 8th to the 19th. The stars that are influencing this time of the year are, of course, the fixed star Rigel, but Betelgeuse and Bellatrix are another combination of stars that need to be worked with. We also have the bottoms of the feet of Orion, which is Syath, and of course, Rigel is one of it's the left foot of Orion. So those two, and then later on, I think after, like during the winter solstice on the 21st, we'll have the influence of the belt stars, which are let's see, I'm looking at the card, Alnitak, Alnilam, and Mintaka. Okay, those are the belt stars. Those you'll feel or work with after winter solstice. Okay, so from December 8th to the end of Capricorn season, you'll have that influence with those stars. Okay, so what does this bring us? So this brings us duality. This brings us an understanding of how we can move beyond this mentality, where we are a mirror reflection of Orion. A lot of the things that have happened down there are happening here. So we're replaying them. It's like a broken record, playing them over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, until we learn to break free from that cycle. This is a individual journey when it comes down to it, and from there, a collective journey. The Orions were very individualistic, and then after a while, they became aware of the need for collective work in order for them to break free from any type of evil regime, any type of oppression. Okay, and that's the same thing that we need to learn here as humans. The same cycle, same thing playing out, that we need to learn to save ourselves, and then eventually, when we have the means and the ability to assist others. Okay, the only problem that we're going to fall into is the forcefulness. Okay, like forcing others to see your way, forcing others to move on with their life, or forcefulness. That's the thing that might come to your awareness during this time. Are we doing things out of love for someone else, or are we doing it out of selfishness? Okay, another theme that might be coming up. Okay, so that being said, it's about observation, but also about taking action. Okay, where are we doing these things in our lives, where we are forcing our belief systems on others, when in a long time ago, the reason why people become spiritual or aware, self-aware, might be because they themselves had that experience where they felt like they were being forced into a box or into some type of belief system or some type of like role, right, in society. But in so many ways, because we didn't handle that the way that we're supposed to, or in our soul's contract, we were supposed to cycle through that again. And now we are either doing this ourselves to other people, or we might be aware of someone doing it to us again in the spiritual community, right? So when we as individuals decide to break free from societal norms, right? And we say, okay, I'm tired of being told what to do. I'm tired of being, suppressed or neglected, or told that I am not as powerful as I should be, things like that. Then we go into this community where we find people who are just like that, who are willing, because they take on a leadership role, or people believe that they're leaders, which nobody should be, worshiping them or admiring them to the point that they give all their money away, give their power away to these people. So we run into these people to learn this lesson once more. Okay, because we ran from the others, right? We ran away. We said we don't want to put up with this, and we're just gonna, you know, choose our own path, right? And then we're running into the arms of people who are very similar to the ones that we ran away from. So that's what another Orion cycle is, to make sure that you're not over here hero worshiping or spiritual guru worshiping, that it is okay to exchange information, to share information and things like that, but it's never okay to go out of your way to be a fan of someone, right? Or like, oh my God, I like this guy and this girl because they're so blah blah blah, and they're so accurate, and I wish I was like that. That's where it comes from, where you wish you were like that. When you don't believe in yourself, then you fall into that trap. Okay. So that's another cycle. It's to break free from these, is to believe in yourself and to believe that you're much more powerful on your own. And from there, you are able to assist others to break free in that manner too, right? And so that's what you'll find yourself in, is seeing these things through your own lens, and observing your own mentality, regarding these things in your life. Like, I've never been a fangirl, what I mean? Like, I've liked people, like I've been like giving them a benefit of the doubt, but then I was like, man, never ever neglect your intuition, your initial intuition about these people, okay? Because you're always right. And that's what I had to learn. I had to learn to never ever reject that judgmental side of me, which I call it judgmental, because I'm thinking, oh, this person's just like, oh, this person, this and this and that, right away you have an evaluation about the person, and then you find yourself thinking, oh my God, I shouldn't think that way, I shouldn't be judgmental, and this and this and that, and you beat yourself up, and then you feel guilty for that, and then you're like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. You're never wrong. You're never wrong. You just have to realize that eventually, of course, right? But you're never wrong. That's why I stay away from people now. Like, when I have this first initial reaction to them and I'm just like, there's something off, I'm not going to explore that though. That's what I tell myself. We're not going to explore that anymore. We're done with that. We're done with being the curious one or trying to figure out why we feel this way. No, we don't need to do that anymore. We just leave them alone. Just leave them be. Let them do their thing. And you move on to with your own stuff, right? So the more that you do that, the more that you're just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna ask questions. I'm just gonna move on. I'm just this is not this. I don't want this in my life, so I'm just gonna move on. Do my own thing. Understand myself better in a way that is not going to. It's not going to hinder my growth by being concentrating on somebody else and what they're doing all the time, right? Like, if they're doing something wrong in your opinion, then leave them alone, okay? Like, they're gonna figure it out eventually. Eventually, shit's gonna fucking fall down on their fucking face, like it's like a house of cards is gonna just collapse, right? And so that's what another lesson that you'll learn for the Orion energy is that you take time to understand why this cycle's coming in, and then whether or not you want to take action on it is up to you. To me, I've already learned these lessons with multiple people in the spiritual community, and I don't need to do it again, right? Because I already grown from it. I already know that the reason why that happened, those lessons even happened, is because I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe in my intuition, and I gave my power away. Like, when I was thinking, oh man, like, I want to do what they do, or I want to inspire people the way they inspire people. They didn't really inspire anyone. It was just drama. Eventually. So it's kind of like, no, thanks. But anyway, so that's what we'll feel with the Orion energy coming in. Okay, it's just being mindful of the cycles, being mindful of who we connect to. I know there's a lot of need for connection, a need for validation, a need for being around like-minded people, because there might be a lack of that in your own life, or you might perceive it that way. Again, perception is everything, okay? Shifting the perception that you have about your life, about the family that you have, where you were born into, is important as well. That's what the Orion's lessons are as well, where we might have this misconception of people in our lives because they're not as open as we are, where we might be like, oh, I had this dream, or oh, I had this experience, oh, I had this spiritual experience, I had this premonition, and our family members will be like, what the fuck, like that's cool and all, but that's kind of like, because they're not ready for that, you know what I mean? And so for us, our perception might be, oh, they're not like me, they don't understand me, all this, whatever, right? So that's why we go after and search for like-minded individuals on the internet, or maybe in our community, things like that. But we have to understand that we might think that way, but it's because they're not sharing their experiences, because they're not ready for that yet. But eventually they will. Just like I had the same perception when I started off doing this stuff publicly, that my family wasn't going to be supportive. But they were. Like, a lot of my family was. My sister was. My mom, if kind of iffy, for a few years, until she realized, holy shit, Ari's, like, we're very much alike, because she does have premonition dreams too. She was in denial because of fear. So she even admitted, I was afraid. I didn't want you to go through what I went through, things like that. And so there, but now she's super supportive. Same thing with my fiance. He's super supportive of my path and my journey. And so that's the thing, is that our perception of our family, our closest relatives, the ones that we love, is skewed temporarily because of our need for support during our journey, right? Like, we need people to help us. We need people to help us understand, what's going on, or we need people who are like-minded, who are going through the same thing, in order for us to relate to, so that we know we're not on this journey on our own, but we really are. That's the journey of spirituality, is your own perception, right? Your own take on it. It's supposed to be an individual journey, but it's cool to have a group, that you can relate to. But anyway, that's another lesson of growing away from that misconception that you might have, that they don't understand you. When they do, they're just in fear right now. That's why they understand you so much. They've probably went through the same things that you are going through. They've probably had very similar experiences, but it created fear in them, and they're not willing to look at it yet. Okay, just remember that. Okay, but anyway, so let's go ahead and discuss the energy. Let's see what we get from our galactic guides for the energy for this month. Okay. Tomorrow I'll be doing a live again for the zodiac readings. All right, so we'll do those tomorrow. Okay, let's see. Thank you, guys. Woo! All right. Allie's like, sound like me so much to stay away from people now. Well, it's just sometimes you got to pick your battles. Sometimes it's like, why are we even fighting, right? Like, when you think about it, why are you even fighting with someone about their own perception, their own belief systems, when everybody has a right to have whatever it is, that because they're on a different journey, they're on a different level of their journey. I wouldn't even call it level. It was stage, or area, and on the journey, which all journeys, like all rivers, lead to the ocean. All journeys lead to the ocean of creator. They're all unique. They all have their own twists and turns and things like that. Sometimes they all merge. Eventually they merge together in the ocean, and it's all oneness, right? And so that's the thing, is that we need to realize that it's like, there's people who are going to always have an opposing view from us, and the beauty of duality. But we have to choose to either continue the war with them in so many ways, mirroring the war within ourselves, or find peace. Find peace within in so many ways, being okay with being different, being okay with people not understanding you, being okay with not caring if they understand you or not, because there's going to be people out there who will. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to impress anyone. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. If they question you, then just be like, if you don't, it's okay if you don't, like my methods or my belief systems. I don't like yours either. So I know about them. And that's okay. We don't have to be in a war. There's no competition here, right? So I think that's important for us. It's not about the external world will always reflect the internal, right? Where if we think that we're being judged, it'll reflect from there. Like, if we think my belief system is going to be judged, my belief system is going to be scrutinized, my belief system is different, therefore people are not going to like it, right? Well, if we believe that about ourselves, about our belief systems, about the rebellious nature of them, then that's going to reflect with our interactions with others, right? Until we say, I accept who I am wholeheartedly, and I accept that I'm not for everyone, and that's perfectly fine with me, because only the right people will be in my life. Only the right people is who I'll accept, who I want to walk hand in hand with, right? When we start to do that, then we start to see that reflect as well. Okay, no more of the attacks and no more of the goofiness of these projections, right? So it's really important, okay, for us to change our mindset. So let's go on. We have I would say, for the first week of this Orion energy, it would be abandonment energy coming from the earth and a connection to the earth. So it definitely reflects the beginning of how the Orions, when they came here, the whole veil of illusion, when we come here, when we're birthed into these cycles where we believe that we're separate, right? We're separate. We were like left here. We were abandoned, or, we don't belong here. We're abandoned. That's exactly what the energy might be that you might be picking up on. We're like, oh my God, I can't believe that. I feel like I'm being neglected. I feel like no one understands me, things like that, right? So looking into and reflecting that, where does that come from? Is there a phase in your life where you felt rejected? Maybe a person in your life that rejected you. Maybe you had your heart broken at a very young age and you felt rejection, or you felt abandonment, or maybe one of your parents for some reason abandoned your family, right? And that's where it's coming from, where you're picking that up. Or it could be in utero, okay, where you were in utero and your mother or your father, whatever, you pick up on everything in utero. You guys are like sponges. We are all like sponges in utero. Something happened to them. Maybe they got abandoned by their own family, or maybe their partner abandoned them, and you felt that, and you took it on yourself, right? So it could have been that. It could be a generational feeling. Okay, so it's important for us to reflect on this, and this is what we got: reflection pool. We got that, reflecting on this situation, on and being still and understanding, where is this coming from? This rejection, this neglect, this abandonment, where's this coming from? Where's the root of it, right? And dealing with it, because we might have a cycle where we see this happening to us as well. Maybe friendships, our friends have abandoned us, or maybe a relationship, a romantic relationship. Maybe they left, they broke up with you, whatever, right? So these things are coming up to the surface to be understood and to be reflected on. Like, where is this coming from? But also understanding that you're never alone. We have to get to that understanding that even though we don't have things in the physical realm, there's no things here physically, we have our guides in the spirit. Okay, they're everywhere and all around you. Therefore, you're never alone and you've never been abandoned, right? And they're always there for you. Okay, and so healing this and understanding how to integrate this truth and reality that if the physical realm isn't everything, and nothing really is, everything's temporary here, right? Nothing really is important in the physical realm as much as the spirit realm, because that's who we really are connected to. With Creator, we're always connected to Creator. There's no disconnection. And the reason why you're feeling that is because, again, you had to deal with the root cause of that belief. Okay. Where's it coming from? All right. And so reflecting on this will be very beneficial for you guys for this beginning of this month. Okay. For this week. All right. Moving on, we have for the second week, good intentions. So this is coming from Sirius energy. So good intentions. What are your intentions here? What are the intentions that you have for your life, for the people in your life? What's the work that you're trying to create, right? Like, what am I here to do? What am I supposed to do this lifetime? I want to help people. That's a good intention. I want to protect people. That's another good intention. I want to have more than enough to assist people. Another good intention, right? But how are you going to get that? How will we do this? We have to be mindful of what we take on, what choices we make on those roads to whatever this is that you're trying to create. Okay. So like I said, there's people who have different, roads, different obstacles, different energy that they're dealing with. They all started with good intentions, right? They all started with this idea in their head, like, I'm here to make a difference. They see the world around them and they want to change it. They want to change it for the better. But on their road, sometimes they have choices to make that might be moral choices to make, ethical choices to make, that we might perceive as wrong in our eyes because our morals and our ethics are different from their own. And they might perceive it as a necessity, as a survival tactic, as a need in order for them to get from point A to B, right? So, for example, the industries that we have that are entertainment industries, where they pluck you out of like poverty, for example. And this is a very common thing that happens to kids, to young adults, especially like sports, for example. It's a big one, sports. Where you have these kids that get plucked out of high school or college, sports, and they get this beautiful, huge, tremendous opportunity to become someone famous and someone part of this bigger, like the NFL or the NBA, or these things, right? And then all of a sudden they get this contract and there's millions of dollars involved, and they get this full load of millions shoved in their face, and all they got to do is sign this contract to play, right? And then of course there's rules that they have to adhere to, right? Don't get in trouble. You are the face of this company now, and this is what is expected of you. So you got the stress of performance, you got the stress of expectation, you got the stress of responsibility with that amount of money. What are you going to do with that money, right? And then you got the stress of going into a brand new world, from a poverty to millions, right? That's a brand new world of different society, a different class. And so these people are like thinking in their heads, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to save my family. I'm going to get them out of the ghetto. I'm going to get them out of the boondocks, whatever, right? Out of the streets. And I'm going to, provide for them. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to provide for my future, provide for my family, so that we don't go back there, right? Whatever it takes. Remember that. And so that's what they do. They do whatever it takes. Okay. And in their mind, it's full of good intentions, where I did it because of you. I did it to save you. I did it to protect you. I did it to make sure that you had a better life than I did, right? Good intentions. And then mixed in with bad choices, right? That some of us might see as evil. So that's what it is. It's like, what's going on in your path, right? That might be leading you down that road, right? It might be giving you the opportunity to be something out that everybody admires, and all of a sudden, what do you got to do for that to maintain it, right? Do you have to do some bad shit in order for you to be relevant or to be maintaining that contract? What's going on? What's in that contract? What do you have to do? And so that's what we might be challenged with for the second week of this month, is choosing whether or not we compromise our morality, our ethics, for fortune and fame, for a good outlook on whatever projects we are, invested in, things like that, right? So it's very important. So we have ego, spirit, freedom, and those contracts don't give you the freedom, right? So if we have a contract before us, for example, maybe you have like an idea. For example, I'll give you guys an example. So, sorry, this is like, the camera's like stupid. I'll give you guys an example. I, submitted some ideas for this thing for a book, right? Balboa Press, from Hay House, and Hay House affiliated. It's actually a part of Hay House. So I was like thinking, oh, let me submit some ideas, maybe because I could self-publish, right? And they'll help you with that, right? Self-published or whatever, or help you find editors and things like that. I told my friend about it because she's very into like this type of information. And she said, you got to be careful with this particular group, because she has a friend who worked with Hay House and who told her, yeah, that's not a good press. Those are not good publishers. They just take a lot of money and they hardly get anything in return, right? Like revenue, things like that, for your book, for your publishings and stuff like that. So she told me to explore that further, and then she gave me information on it, and I was like reading it and I'm like, oh my God, like it's true. There's like, first of all, you have to put a down payment, and then you have to like continue to pay them for your, for them to publish your book. And then they sometimes they'll give you your royalties, like they will like withhold information about how, like if a book is sold, then you won't see that money sometimes. Like for some reason, there's like some hidden fees or something. I don't know. So I was like looking at that, and then like the girl that kept like she like I first of all, I just wanted to self-publish. I didn't want anything to do with anything with, like popularity, anything like that. So this woman that was a part of the team was like, oh, are you interested? Like, let's talk about this. And then maybe we could pitch it to Hay House and all this stuff. And I was thinking, oh my God, Hay House. Well, that was, those are like really uh, prestigious spiritual, freaking publishing sites and things like that. They've done all these kinds of things. And then I thought about it and I was like, if this is meant to be, then I'll have more information on this. And so when my friend gave me all this information about the negative stuff about it, I was like, yeah, that's my cue to be like, no, I'm not going to do this. Okay. And because like I talked to this woman, right, like was like, oh, I could get you published with Hay House and this and that. And I'm like, how much is this going to cost? Right? Like out of my pocket, how much am I going to have to pay you in order for that to happen? Right? And she never got back to me. And I was like, okay, so this is obviously, like they're obviously just using you for your money. So I was like, how can Hay House, a reputable spiritual publishing website or whatever, or company, how can they be affiliated with this? When Mrs. Hay, the owner of this publishing agency, this publishing company, her thing was she was writing these spiritual books. And the reason why she created Hay House is to self-publish, because no one would publish her book, right? When she was an author, when she was writing and creating these things. So she created Hay House to help people like me or anybody else who wanted to publish a book, a spiritually based book, right? So how can she, or this company that she had, she's dead, by the way, how can it turn into something like this when it had good intentions in the beginning, right? And so that's what it is. It's like the same thing. Anything like that can turn sour right away, especially if the actual owner is dead now, and whoever's in charge of Hay House, they're all thinking about money. Okay, it's not about spiritual growth, right? They're just thinking about money. All right. So the ego spirit is about freedom. You can do it yourself. And that's what I said to myself. You know, I could do this myself. I could publish my own fucking book. I could go to a local print house. We have them here, and have them print my book. Or I could upload it into like an ebook, right? Like I could just do that myself instead of relying on people that are going to, you know, take all my money. Yeah. So that's exactly what that was all about, that lesson. So moving on, we have for the third week, natural humility. And this is coming from Lyra. So this is about, it's not necessarily like, oh, proving that you're humble. Proving that, you know, oh, look at what I did, and getting praise. Posting, you know, all this stuff or whatever. It's about sharing like, okay, sharing things about the world that will really have you be more self-aware, right? um like for example, if you, the holidays is like the perfect time for you to volunteer. I would say throughout the year you should be volunteering at least once a month, right? um for your local community, you know, maybe a food drive, or maybe donating to a local homeless shelter, or even to a women's shelter, because there's a lot of them, like the ones that are unfortunately being battered women, you know, and kids and things like that. So whatever you do, it's not about humble bragging. It's about doing it because it's the right thing to do. And so that's what it is natural humility, is doing the things that are right, okay, but not choosing not to be like, hey, this is what I'm doing today. Oh, because we get caught up on that, right? We get caught up on like, people are telling us on the internet, oh, you need to get this, or you need to do that, and this and this and that, and then we go around and be like, well, what the fuck are you doing? The fuck are you doing for society? You're telling me to do something for society, but what the fuck are you doing, right? So we have that, where we have people who do that, the humble bragging. We're like, I've been doing this and this and this and that, and what are you doing, right? Like I recommend that you do this. You don't have to tell anybody about it. You do it because you know it's the right thing to do. Okay, you don't have to go online and be like, what the fuck are you doing for society? Okay, like just do it behind the scenes. All right, you're making a difference. Okay, you are making a difference. Whatever you're doing behind the scenes, you're making a difference for those people in your community. All right, you don't have to tell anybody online. So that's what it is. And then also understanding, you know, when you do this, your rewards are greater. When you do things behind the scenes, your rewards are greater. Okay, and we have to believe that, because sometimes we think, oh, I'm over here doing all this stuff and no one's giving me thanks. But do you really need to be given thanks for the stuff that you're choosing to do? Because it's your choice. It's your choice to do these things. And if it gets to the point of you feeling that way, then that means you need to stop doing it, because obviously it's changed. That energy has changed, right? So new beginnings is another energy. So we go from humble bragging, natural humility to new beginnings. All right. So there's obviously an energy there that has changed, has shifted, where we feel that maybe we are not being rewarded. Maybe we feel that we need to be rewarded. Maybe we feel like all the work that we've done or all the help that we've given someone isn't being rewarded somehow, or they're not being grateful for it. So a new beginning comes in, a new choice, a new energy. Continue on the path or step into a new one. So for example, those people who give advice to other people, and you're continuously giving advice and giving advice and giving advice, and you're feeling like, wow, what the fuck? Like, this person obviously doesn't give a shit about me or my advice. They're not respecting me because they're not adhering to it, or they're not doing what I, provided, all these steps for them to do. They're not doing it. So if you're feeling that way, you guys, if you're feeling that way, because it does happen to a lot of us, then the connection needs to stop. You need to start a new way you need to shift that energy and put that energy into somewhere else, right? Take back that energy from that person. I'm not giving you this anymore. I'm starting a new beginning, and I'm concentrating on me, on what I want instead. Okay. You could go and do what you want because you've been doing it this whole time, but I don't need to give you anything of me anymore. Okay. And that's what the new beginning is about, is to choosing to bring your energy and use it for something new, something better. Okay. Something more your speed. Okay. All right. And then the final week of this season, final week of December, we have true compassion. True compassion. What does that mean? Well, seeing things through the lens of compassion, through the neutral energy of creator, through understanding that everything has a reason for exists. It is up to us to choose whether or not we engage with these things. Okay. For example, understanding where information comes from, where belief comes from. What does this stand from? Where does this exist? Okay, in the mind. Where do we get this idea about spirits being evil? This is an example, because this is something that I've been working on through my entire life. When I was a kid, I didn't perceive evil in the spirit world. I never experienced it. But until I started to be engaged with people, humans, people that had a belief system that things are evil in the spirit world, that's when I started to perceive things in that way. For just, I would say, like a little bit, just a little bit, because I don't never really held true in my heart that could even exist, because I felt in my head, in my mind, and in my knowing, even as a kid, that that's wrong. That's wrong for humans to think that their evil deeds were being influenced by the spirit realm, when it is us who influence that ourselves, right? Where our belief in it then dictates where that goes, where it manifests, right? And so having compassion for the neutral energy of the spirit world and the way that you create it, where if you believe in something so much, it exists there. It manifests into your reality and shows you how powerful you are, because you are a co-creator of this. Therefore, bam, there's the proof. The spirit comes to life. It is real. It is right in front of you. You feel its energy. And then you're just like, oh, fuck, it's real. But you didn't realize it that before you got that implanted in your head, you didn't believe in it. It didn't exist. It was never manifested in your reality until you got it implanted in your head and you're like, bam, there it is. Now I believe. Because you were the one that created the belief after you believed someone else's word for it. So co-creator, that's what that means. People, a group of people can co-create a spirit in the spirit realm, as again, the spirit realm is neutral and fertile ground for creativity, for creation. Okay. And so when we influence, we actually influence the spirit realm. Okay. It's our influence. And so when religions come about that have beliefs in evil spirits and good spirits, and all of the people believe the same thing, bam, it's manifested. Okay. And when we have people such as other ancients, where they knew that the spirit world was neutral and fertile ground, and they're mindful of their beliefs and what they believed in and what they perceived or what they influenced there, that's when they knew, oh shit, I'm the powerful one. I'm the one doing this. I'm the one reflecting that. I'm the one mirroring this, and therefore it's coming to life. It's coming to my awareness, right? And so that's where the true compassion comes from, those things, right? Where we have to have compassion for ourselves and for other people, for their beliefs and the creations that they have created in the spirit realm, and not fight them or battle this evil spirit or whatever, but understand it, that where is this coming from? Why did it come into my life? Why is this experience happening to me? What the hell do I believe in? Because that's the root cause of everything, is belief. You believe in the devil, it exists. You believe in demons, they exist. Do you believe in angels? They exist. Do you believe in other things? They exist, right? And they exist for your belief, for your reasoning, for what you need them for. Okay. As soon as you don't believe in them, as soon as you know exactly why they're here, why did they exist, or why do they even exist in my reality? As soon as you figure that out, boom, they're gone. They've served their purpose. All right. And that's what it is we are not supposed to battle. We're not supposed to fight this. We're fighting ourselves. Okay. Like this thing, this warrior is like shielding itself from this goopy thing, right? And it's like, oh my God, this is evil. Oh my God, da 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 da, and all this stuff, right? But why do we think that way? Who told us that, right? Do we sit with spirit? Not, if we have fear of spirit, we have fear of interactions such as these, it's because we're not willing to sit with spirit yet. We're not willing to commune with the truth of spirit in the spirit world and our own soul's truth, right? Because sometimes we know, when we think about the spirit world, if we weren't raised in that manner where we are open to receiving information and knowing that everything is neutral ground until we say it's evil or good, everything's neutral, right? We're the ones that tell ourselves, this is evil, this is good. Then we're still going to continue to cycle that when we're not ready. We're not ready to confront our beliefs yet. We're not ready to take responsibility for that belief. And so therefore we are playing this role of us versus them, of good versus evil continuously, because we're not ready to realize that we are the ones that co-created that. We're the ones that put energy into that. We have responsibilities for that, for taking back our energy, taking back our creation, and understanding it better, and understanding, why did we have to have this lesson? Why did we have to believe that was evil? Why do we have to believe that was good? Like, we're on a journey of self-actualization. So these things are necessary for us to grow away from, grow into understanding that everything is still necessary here, right? Every experience is still necessary, but it's up to you to choose what you want to experience. That's what true power is. That's what true co-creator energy is you choose whether or not you want to continue to believe in these things or not. Okay. And I think it's easier for people who were raised knowing that their true power is the belief that they have. And how do they use that belief to manifest these things in their reality, right? I think that's very important. Very, very important. So Moonlight Enchantment is the secondary card for this fourth week. So this one is magic. What's co-creator energy is magic, manifestation, right? So again, like I said, the expressions that we have in our world of religion belief, where we have people who are pagans that believe in animus and everything has life. We have people who are Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever, Hindu. Their belief is so strong that they manifest these gods and goddesses, these prophets, these angels, these demons, these devils, because again, they're putting that energy in to the neutral fertile ground of the spirit world and growing it. The collective of yonder, we'll say, like, from generations to generations, if you have the same belief in your family, it's the same religious belief in your family, it's a collective energy and it's much more powerful. Okay. And therefore it manifests in your reality even more intensely because it's a generational thing. It's a collective consciousness that came together to create that form, that spirit, that evil, that good. All right. And so the Moonlight Enchantment and the magic is, how are you using this magic? How are you using your magic? How are you using your belief system to create your reality, to create your experiences in the spirit world, and therefore from there into this reality? Because in my belief system, the root of all evil is humanity. We take responsibility for our shit. That's how I was raised. You do something bad, you take responsibility for the fucking bad things that you do. Not a spirit. You do. And why? Because we co-create these things. Evil is in humanity because evil is a part of us. We have choices every day, whether we want to choose to be morally good, ethically good, or bad. Right? And it's because of our society and how it's built around greed, around money, around gain, around status. People don't turn to crime unless there's a need for it, unless they've been ostracized, unless they've been neglected, rejected, been abused. That's when they turn into the things that they turn into, right? The same thing with criminals that do really harsh things. It could be just because that's how they are. It could be that. It could just be people are fucking born that way. Just like we say that people are born a certain way and have a certain belief about themselves, there could be people who are just born evil. They're honestly, like, there's a lot of like serial killers that had a very good life, right? That were raised properly, but yet they turn to that, right? And then there's a lot of them who were fucked up, like they were really messed up in the head, or they got abused and they were living life like that, right? And they turn out that way. It's always a choice. And so that's how I was raised. It's always your choice. It's always your choice whether or not you want to do that, right? Some people are just born with that. I want to do it. There's this weird shit. And it's a physiological thing too. There is actual proof in the human brain. There's parts of the human brain that's gray matter that don't function correctly because either genetics happened, environmental diseases could have fucked up the brain too, environmental stuff, outside of them could have messed up their brain. Even like, for example, there's people who I used to work with that were that had brain injuries. Some people had strokes, brain injury, right? Left hemisphere, right hemisphere, don't matter. It actually rewired their brain, and therefore their processes were vastly different. They became different people overnight. There are people who had brain trauma, such as, an injury, like an accident or something. Again, physiologically speaking, they're completely different people. The way that they think, they don't process things in the same way anymore, right? Where the compassion was is gone, right? And so, for example, I had this an older gentleman that was very, very kind in the beginning, right? Like before, his wife even said this. He is the kindest man ever. But ever since his, his what happened to him with his stroke, he's just raunchy. There's no filter. He would say the worst things you could ever think a human would ever say to you. He was raunchy. Like, he was just straight out like, hey, girl, what's that? Like, just really sexual and gross, right? Like, ew. Harassment report, physiological changes in the brain due to his stroke. There's no fucking way you could fucking help that. So again, there's different reasons for this, but ultimately it's your choice too. It's your choice to shut your mouth. Like I told the old man that I was like, it's your choice to not say that. If you think of something, like you see a girl and you find them very attractive, you can still stop yourself from saying something sexual to her. And so he was being taught, how to rewire his brain, pretty much how to refilter himself. So yes, so there's still choice, and that's what it is the magic. What are we using for our magic? What are we creating here? What choices are we taking? And are we doing it with compassion, with true compassion, right? That's what it's all about. Yeah, literally pervert bio. Yeah. You checked an old man for yeah, well, that's again when we of course the nurses, were like, oh my god, this guy is ridiculous, right? And they would like report like, okay, Mr. So and so said this to one of the nurses the other day, and report it. And then the doctor came in and they took him to, the neurologist came in and explained exactly what was damaged in the brain. And that's that center right there, language center, the filter, the think before you speak center was damaged. And so he explained that to all of the nurses. Like, doesn't mean that you have to tolerate it. You can still correct him, because he'll catch it when you correct him. You'd be like, hey, we cannot say that to blah blah blah, cannot say that, you can't say that to me or whatever. And he started to, through physical therapy, through techniques, through things like that, I started to actually change the way that he spoke to the nurses, and eventually he got better. Because again, just because the brain is damaged doesn't mean it cannot be recovered, right? It can't, like, oh, there's no way you can recover or you can heal it, right? There is ways. There's a lot of ways. There is no way that it cannot be repaired, right? It just depends on the person, right, as well, like their efforts to the repairing of that. Yeah, so because I remember he never, like, I he never said it directly to me, but he said to other girls that I heard him one time say it to this girl while she was walking out. Like, she had a butt, right? Like, he was just like, "Whoa, look at that," you know. Like, and I was like, "Hello, we don't talk to people like that." And he's just like, you know. I was like, "Yep." But anyway, that's what we have for the readings for this month. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of changing of perceptions, pretty much. A lot of growth happening. A lot of that due to the Orion influence for this month, okay? So be mindful of that. Be mindful of yourself, of your own perceptions of what you are creating in your life, what you're believing in. What are you believing in? Are you still believing in a war in the spiritual sense? Are you still believing that there is a separation, that there is us versus them? Are you still believing in this cycle, right? In what we're seeing in our external world? You know, are you still wanting to fight them? Are you still wanting to attack them? You know, things like that. What are we doing? What are we using this energy for? Very important. Okay. Spirits don't need to be fought. Humans need to be talked to, yes. Not the spirits. They cannot harm you. It's the humans that you need to watch out for. You need to be mindful of them. Okay. All right. All right, you guys. So that's all I have. Thank you guys so much for watching. And again, thank you for all the support of this channel. I finally got monetized. Woo woo! Finally making 1 cent for advertising. I was looking at that. I was like, that's it? What the fuck? Looking at the like advertisements and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm gonna leave, like, because I like to put the skippable ads, and I only like to put ads in the beginning of my videos. Like if there's, I didn't put anything else on the other videos. Like, I was like, this is too short for a fucking ad. What the hell, you know? But I realized that when my sister got on her phone and she clicked on a video that didn't have monetized on or whatever, YouTube still did it anyway. These fucking assholes, right? They still fucking added an ad on my video. I was like, what the fuck? I said no monetization. This is too short, right? But anyway, so if there are ads in between videos, like maybe you're watching a video and all of a sudden, boom, there's an ad in the middle. That's not me. That is not me. That is YouTube. All right. Because I always put like, I always click only like the lives to be monetized afterwards, or maybe like the ones that are longer, right? You know, like that I upload that are longer, not the 1 minute ones. They did that. And then and I put it for only in the beginning of the video, and it has to be skippable. Those are the ones that so if it's not skippable, I'm sorry, that's not me. If it's in the middle of the video, I'm sorry, that's not me. Okay. I don't know why YouTube does this, and you tell them not to, but fuck, you know, whatever. I don't know. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm like trying to like, okay, we're just gonna do the skippable ads at the beginning of the video because it's easier for everyone. Yeah, I know. I think it does help. I'm not sure. Like, I didn't read everything. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was just like, this is okay. All right, I accept. So I guess their thing is, I think if the ad, I think over a few seconds, then it'll count, right? I don't know how over how many seconds that'll count like as money or whatever. And I think it's just 1 cent per ad. At least that's what I see in my thing. It says revenue and it says 0.01. 1 cent. And so I was just like, oh, that's it. Oh my God. But yeah, so I don't know. It's some, I don't know how many seconds. but then you could skip it, I guess. But that, yeah, I guess it'll work. I have no idea. I'm just like, whatever, freaking ads. Uh, like there's this video that I was trying to watch. Okay, there's this video I was trying to watch that was like a I forgot what it was. How to do something, right? Like some type of computer thing. And it had ads every fucking minute. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it was frustrating as hell. Like, it like had all these ads. Like, you could tell like it has these little like red dots or whatever, and those are like your ads or whatever. And they were skippable, but some were not. And this fucker like just put it the whole fucking video, like every other minute, an ad. I was like, what the fuck? Like you putting out a video of how to do something online or with a computer like program, things like step by step, and then this fucking ad coming up. I fucking hate you. So I clicked off it. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this shit. And then I had my fiance just fix my computer for me. I was just like, oh fuck it, I don't care. I'm fucking not doing this shit myself. Stupid video. Oh my god. Yeah. Thank you, Skywalker. Thanks. But yeah, so just like, dude, what the fuck? Like, it's so frustrating, you know? But anyway, yeah, I didn't even want to find another video. I was like, fuck this. I'm just done. I was like, no, done. Because it was just like, dude, I like, if I don't understand software like for the computer, it gets frustrating, and I get really like I have no patience for software. If I can't just click on something and it just works like that easily, then I'm done. You know, like I do try, you know, but no, like no. And then I just have him do it because he's a computer whiz. Like he even creates his own games, you know, for his like he has like this software thing that he just like starts to make his own images and, you know, graphic design and things like that. So I'm just like, I'll let him do that shit. I'm like, this is so fucking frustrating. All right. So that's all I have, you guys. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, probably around the same time, for the zodiac readings. Okay. So love you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Bye bye.